Section 1 of Misleading of the African Mindset, Volume 1 of 2. Mindset Development. Mindset development, it's a process of transformation and improvement to a characteristic of attitude or mentalities held by someone or a group of people. Alternatively, a set of assumptions and methods held by one or groups of people that are established, a powerful incentive within them. This is done to continue to adopt a new behavior. This mindset development can be achieved through a process of changing the way people think regularly. One of the great American authors, speaker and ministers said, "Change your thoughts, and you change the world." I believe to change Africa, we must first develop the thoughts of the African people. Thoughts are the result of our ideas and imagination that are generated by our conscious and unconscious mind. Ideas are thoughts or suggestions, as a product of the mental activity, such as an opinion, conviction, plan or an aim. Imagination is the ability or an action of forming new ideas or concepts of external objects or something that is not perceived as real and not present before the senses. It can also be referred to as the mental image that forms the ability for imaginings. Note, starting from this minute from Brain and Mind content, the audiobook focuses more on scientific terminology. You may skip about 25 minutes if you find them tedious to familiarize and start at the importance of mind content. However, these 25 minutes are very important in order to understand properly this section 1, or the rest of the book. The 25-minute explain the differences between brain and mind terms. The discussions are focused on a scientist's technique to clarify the function of the two terms in a human being body. Brain and mind. In order to understand the concept of mindset development, you need to have a better comprehension between the brain and mind. Brain, it's a physical part of a human being's organs that execute from mind. This allows us to control the entire body action. The mind, it's a non-physical part of a human being's brain, like the soul, which enables us to be aware of the world and our experiences. This allows us to think or formulate new ideas and thoughts. These two words are synonyms and are defined in various concepts, but both perform the same function, to control the human being's body. The brain is one of the organs of a human being. It is discussed more literally in physiology, the scientific study of the normal function of living systems. It's one of the branches of biology, and anatomy, the scientific study of the structure of organisms and their parts of humans, animals, and other living organisms. It's also one of the branches of biology. Brain examinations are conducted in one of the multidisciplinary branches of biology, the branch of natural science, called neuroscience. The brain doctor or specialist is called the neurologist, the biological scientist who specializes in anatomy that deals with the nervous system. These studies are based on physical and natural matters that can be tested, experimented or observed, to set a standard technique for a function to control or develop a human being's brain. The brain is the most complex matter to understand and is made up of billions of nerve cells. It's a part of the human being's head that consists of several parts of different functions. It weighs between 2 to 4 pounds, with an average of about 3 pounds 1.36078 kilograms or 1.5 kilograms. This book has discussed only the 4 essential elements within the brain in order to understand the mind's purpose in brain. The 4 parts are cerebrum, thalamus, brainstem, and cerebellum. Figure 1.1a, b and c in the electronic book file and paper book illustrates some elements within the brain. Cerebrum, it's the largest part of the human brain, containing the cerebral cortex, composed of folded gray matter in the 2 roughly symmetrical structures sides, left and right, of the brain, called cerebral hemispheres. The hemispheres are separated by the medial longitudinal fissure, like a trench, and connected by a bridge of white matter, namely the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum facilitates communication and information processing between the 2 hemispheres. The cerebrum is the essential part of nervous systems and is responsible for the integration of a human being's memories. The cerebrum's cerebral cortex is divided into 4 regions or lobes that control human memory functions. The 4 lobes are frontal lobes, responsible for mental processes, generally emotion control, like decision-making, planning, learning, speech, thought and problem-solving. Parietal lobes deal with integrating, perceiving, processing and sensation, the information, like touch, temperature and pain. Temporal lobes, responsible for memory and hearing, listening and comprehensions. Occipital lobes, deals with visual information processing. Cerebellum, it's a roughly symmetric structure lying in the posterior fossa, or a little part of the brain on the backside of a human being's head. The cerebellum contains the cerebral cortex, which is composed of fold gray matter on the 2 cerebellar hemispheres. It is responsible for body control, balance and coordination of muscle movement. Thalamus is the midline roughly symmetrical structure of 2 splits, thalami, like an egg shape, that connects the cerebrum to the brainstem. It works like the main switchboard that controls all input and output nuclei signals from the brainstem, the cerebellum and other parts of the nerve systems, into the cerebrum and vice versa. These signals process emotional and some other memory information. Further, it integrates the different types of consciousness, such as feeling, seeing, touching and listening. It's also composed of other parts, like the hypothalamus, which maintain the body temperature, among other systems. Brainstem, it's the central trunk of nerve systems that connect the spinal cord, a bundle of nerves that runs inside the vertebral column, to the cerebral region. It's responsible for controlling the vital body signals from the nervous systems and the rest of the body organs. Example, breathing, heart rate, digestion, the cardiovascular or circulatory system and other autonomic processes. The brainstem consists of the midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata, and continues downwards to connect to the spinal cord. Midbrain is the top side of the brainstem, as well as a portion of the central nervous system connected directly to the thalamus. It consists of several sections and fiber tracts that descend from the cerebral cortex and is responsible for various functions associated with breathing, vision, hearing, and motor control, among others. Pons is the middle side of the brainstem that connects the upper and lower parts of the brain like a bridge. It deals with circulation and contains nuclei and fiber tracts that conduct signals from the cerebellum and medulla oblongata into the midbrain and thalamus, and vice versa. Medulla oblongata is the downside of the brainstem that is continuous to form the spinal cord. It's responsible for digestion, swallowing, breathing and heart rate. The mind refers literally to the consciousness which allows a person to be aware of internal and external things within oneself. It consists of 2 levels. The first level is the conscious mind and the second one is the subconscious mind, which includes another subdivision called the unconscious mind. The mind study is based on social science research, which is used for various methods of critical analysis and experimental investigation to develop a philosophy about public order, disorder and change. It is concerned more with society and the relationships among individuals within a society. The social science has many disciplines that deal with the mind and are divided into different sub-branches. Examples: sociology is the study of social problems. Psychology is the study of the mind, behavior, and how it works. Political science is the branch of social science that deals with systems of government or political institutions, and the analysis of governmental activity and political behavior. Religious study is the multidisciplinary field of education that deals with the mind, spirituality, metaphysical and the philosophy of religious beliefs, behavior and institutions. This includes some other social sciences. All these methods are based on non-physical and natural matters that cannot be tested. They are assumptions or philosophies without standard evidence. For example, each religionist, politician and psychologist have their own unique way to explain, develop and control a human being's mind or society. The functionality of the brain and mind. The term mind and brain do confuse some people, upon interpretation. For example, a scientist who practices the natural sciences may be heard explaining about the 4 lobes of the brain, which control a person's ideas and thoughts. However, some other people who practice the social sciences will speak more about the 2 levels of mind, the conscious and the subconscious mind. These 2 levels control a human being's ideas and thoughts or actions. The 2 terms are correct, because to a natural scientist, especially a neurologist, the term brain is more concerned with the natural and matters that can be tested. They are determined to prove some result through experimentation of a human being's brain. To a social scientist, the term mind is concerned more with the natural and matter that can't be tested. They are also capable of proving some result through people's minds. Now, to have a better understanding, I have chosen one device, which is around us, known as a computer, which is an electronic machine that is used to compute different data. It's used to solve different problems, process data, store and recover data, and to perform calculations, faster than a human brain. It consists of 2 major elements: the hardware, the physical part of a system; the software, non-physical part, the set of programs that instruct the hardware. When any person goes to buy a computer, there are 4 most important components, physical parts. They need to confirm the capacity of each component. Is it worth the amount of money one is charging them? These 4 parts are the processor, hard drive, RAM, and power supply. Besides these components, there are other components inside the computer. The 4 components will determine the importance and capacity of the computer. This is quite the same as a human being body, composed of many parts. However, 4 of them are primary, to keep healthy, namely, the brain, heart, lung, physical organs, and mind, non-physical. I have compared the functionality of a personal computer PC to a human being, to clarify the function of the mind and brain. To switch on a computer's motherboard, the central circuit board making up a complex electronic system and provides the electrical connections of a computer's components and communications, we need a source of alternative current AC voltage generated from the generator and supplied to the computer's power supply. Alternatively, we get the power from electrical outlet plugs, supplied from the municipality generators, to supply the computer. The power supply converts AC to direct current DC voltage and supplies the entire computer's components, and it's only switched on from inside the motherboard switches. Human beings frequently have to wake their body from sleep when we are in the unconscious. We start with the subconscious, which stores the thoughts and instructions in the brain memories. The subconscious mind controls the brain signals when the body is resting. It's the second level of the mind, like the internal switches, that switch on or wake up our conscience. The conscious mind is the first level of mind that controls a person's thoughts, ideas and imaginations for an awake body to do any actions. Here the mind plays a role as current or power in a human body. Like, the power supply provides the current or power to the motherboard. The mind commands all the fiber tracks or signals to the entire brain parts, and the brain guides the body into actions. The mind needs a source from outside to guide a human being's decisions. Like the generator provides power or current in a PC's power supply. A human being's generator is the awareness or consciousness of several sources of information. This information is derived from seeing, hearing, feeling, touching, learning and the environment. These are the sources of human consciences. On the other hand, most of the human being thoughts, ideas or imaginations are generated through the community conceptions around them and the environment in which they spend more time. To make it clearer, the power supply in a computer supplies the current and voltages originate from an outside source, generator, to the motherboard. This energizes the processor to run the computer. It is like the mind of human beings that guide our decision based on the ideas and imaginations originating from outside awareness to our body. This instructs our brain into action on what we accept. The processor or CPU, central processing unit, is a logic circuitry that responds to processes, the basic instructions that drive a computer. On the other hand, it is a set of switchboards, like a human brain, made up of several parts, as discussed above. Without a processor, the computer will not switch on. Likewise, in a human being, without the brain, there is no life. If some of the internal processor switches get damages, the computer may or may not function properly, depending on the type of damage. Similarly, if a human being brain gets damaged, they may live or die, depending on which parts of the brain got damaged. The power supply and all the rest of the motherboard components operate with non-physical parts, current and voltage. These parts are controlled by three physical parts of electronic components: resistors, capacitors and inductors. If one of the physical or non-physical parts gets damaged, in the power supply or in the motherboard, this will affect the signals of the current, resulting in malfunction of the processor. For example, the low power supply of the rated current requirement will affect the functionality of the computer. The highest power supply makes a better operation of the computer. Brain, physical, and mind, non-physical, both control the entire human body. The two levels of mind: conscious, subconscious mind, as a non-physical part of the mind, controls our decisions. The brains execute from mind decisions and drive our body into action through different physical elements of the brain. Like the four primary elements discussed above: cerebrum, cerebellum, thalamus, and brainstem. The conscious mind, non-physical, supplies the signals to the four lobes of cerebrum, physical parts of the brain organs, to control the reactions and actions of the body. If one of the internal physical parts of the brain gets damaged, or the non-physical parts of the mind, awareness, continue to affect the conscious mind decisions, signals to the brain, a human being may live an unhappy life. For example, the lowest Torah limitation of mindset will generate poor mind signals in the brain. This will result in unhappiness, unintelligent actions and failure in a human being's lifetime. The highest mindset development generates better mind signals in the brain. This leads to happiness, intelligence, actions and success in life. The subconscious mind, non-physical, store only thoughts and instructions generated by the conscious mind, signals and keeps them in the cortex of brain memories for good, as the physical part of the brain. Like, on the computer, the hard drive stores and saves the information permanently. This shows us, the bigger the hard drive capacity we use, the more information we can store on the computer. This is the same for human beings. The longer thoughts and imaginations generated through a person's mind regularly or by more studying leads to the additional information they store in their subconscious. If a person's conscious mind is confused, the subconscious mind will store the wrong information. If the brain's cortex or the folded gray matter gets damaged, this will confuse or damage the subconscious information stored, memory loss, among others. This is much the same in the computer. If we have got a virus in the hard drive or a hard drive memory cell gets damaged, this will damage the information or a computer's operating systems. The mindset, non-physical part of the mind, and thalamus, physical part of the brain, both play the same roles. All matters or ideas a person sets within their conscious mind are similarly stored in their subconscious mind and also get on their actions. The thalamus connects the mind signals from both sides of the brain's parts, from the cerebrum to the other sides of the brain, and vice versa. The mindset generates fiber tracks that switch on the thalamus signals to the cerebrum memory and other parts of the brain. This is as a result of wishes that a human being imprinted regularly or set within their mind for a moment or a long period. It is the same in many ways with the computer. The mindset is like the random access memory, RAM. RAM is the operating system memory that speed up the PC's process and provide temporary storage when the computer is on. It stores information only the personal user sends via the interface, such as keyboard, mouse, and printer, among others, when the power is on. If the power goes off, all the information gets lost. When the RAM gets damaged, The computer will still switch on, but it will not access the information. This might not display the desktop view on the monitor. Similarly, with a human being, when the mindset gets confused or the thalamus is damaged, many things in their lives could go wrong. The components and organs discussed above are found in a computer and in a human body respectively. The electrical supply and the mental awareness that is generated from outside sources are the exceptions. However, there are other more important organs within a human being body and a computer's components. Like North Bridge, a memory controller hub, and South Bridge, an I/O controller hub, both are the integral circuit, ICs, or chipsets in the computer. North Bridge is a chipset that interconnects a processor with memory, RAM, peripheral component interconnect express, key, and the accelerated graphics port, AGP, interface. South Bridge is a chipset that interconnects several peripheral ports. For example, the Universal Serial Bus, USB, Local Area Network, LAN, and audio, among other peripherals, through the North Bridge to the processor. The computer needs a personal user, who sends the signals via interfaces. These instruct the processor to process digital signals, 0 and 1, low and high, or false and true, and supplies all components on the motherboard. However, the processor needs help from the two chipsets, North Bridge and South Bridge. This communicates a processor input or output signals to the motherboard components, and vice versa, as a result of what we write, read or listen, etc., on the computer. For human beings, our personal users are the effects of environment and awareness, caused by other people around us. It helps us to formulate the conscious mind, for sending the signals to the brain organs. The brains supply the electromagnetic signals to the heart. The heart pumps the blood to the entire body organs via vessels. This blood movement depends on the number of signals that our brains receive from the mind, to instruct the heartbeat, like our feeling. The more signals the mind sends to the brains, the higher the blood will be pumped from the heart. For example, if you experience fear, anxiety or stress, which is always caused by your awareness or consciousness, your heart rate will increase. This will pump up more blood. When you allow your mind state to continue experiencing fear or stress every day, be ready for diseases, like heart disease, among others. The heart is like a chipset, North Bridge, in a computer, and it acts as a motor pump in a living body, which pumps the blood in and out of the organs. Blood brings oxygen to a human body's cell. All living things need oxygen to survive. Once the cells receive the oxygen, the blood returns to the heart again, continually. This causes the movement of a person as a result of the actions formulated through their mindset. However, the heart also needs support from other organs such as the lung that helps the heart operation for blood flow. The lung receives oxygen from outside through the nose and mouth to process the breathing movement. This allows the heart to pump blood smoothly, in and out of a human being's vascular or circulatory system. Here, the lung is like a chipset, South Bridge, that communicates with all peripherals, USB and LAN ports, among others, in the computer and helps a CPU to communicate with outside interfaces. The lung gets oxygen from the nose and the mouth to help the brain's signals, breathes about 12 to 20 or 30 times each minute, to the heart, smoothly. Finally, all human organs are controlled by the brain, and the brain depends on the mind. This shows us these two terms are very important in our life to understand and be able to control. As the studies above describe, the differences of brain and mind are formulated with physical and non-physical matter respectively, within a human being's organs. It's very important for all human beings to understand the differences between both. Most of our physical parts are controlled by ourselves, and sometimes with the help of other people. When some of these parts are broken, they can be fixed easily, depending on the damage extent. However, the majority of human beings' non-physical parts, mind, of the brain are not controlled by ourselves, and when these parts are not in control, or if any internal part of the brain is not working properly, a person will keep on failing to enjoy on his life stays. The reason why the majority of the world's people are religious is due to confusion among many systems around the world that tend to control their mindset. People follow the easy way through awareness of their environment. Similarly, it is the reason why many people who study psychology, politics or the philosophy of religion are able to control other people's mindset. There are many parts and organs in the motherboard of a computer and in a human being's body which can be damaged. A computer and a human being can still operate properly, depending on the relationship or responsibility the broken parts or organs have with the processor and brain, respectively. For example, in a computer's motherboard, if the sound port is broken, the computer could still work. However, if the processor or one of the AYI'S are broken, they need to be replaced or repaired, otherwise, the computer will not work. With a human being, if your leg, arm or other part is broken, you could still live normally. In contrast, if your brain or your heart is to be ruined, it would need to be replaced or repaired, otherwise, it will cause you diseases, which may end your life. More so, if the non-physical parts, mind, of the brain, are broken or confused, it may affect your entire life. In addition, there are many people in this world who are born disabled. However, some of them live excellent moments, compared to most able-bodied people. They have understood the secret of the world and focused on developing the non-physical parts of their brain and improved their mindset, to send the best signals to the brain. Today some of these men and women have a wonderful and remarkable history that can be used to inspire many other people. Their achievement can be used to awaken those who do not understand the beauty and power of their mindset development that may help them to achieve growth in the rest of their lives. This is the reason why the rest of this chapter will focus only on the term mind, which is the exceptional and non-physical part of the brain. The part that allows us to change and control our body with conditions that lead us to achieve our needs or enjoy the rest of our lives.
The importance of mind. The importance of the mind is the concept of understanding and controlling of our imaginations and ideas. These are the sources of thoughts formulated through our mindset. We think in pictures, imaginations, and these images allow us to create ideas or suggestions as a result of our thoughts, to change our pictures to words and communicate. When a person doesn't have a picture or mixes ideas and thinks two pictures at the same time, through his mind, it's easy to interrupt his mindset and results in confusion. We can't start something if we don't have a picture in our mind, otherwise, we don't know what we are planning to do. A human being's imaginations and ideas are mostly formulated from their mindset. These entire processes are controlled through one of the first main levels of mind, which is the conscious mind. It allows us to think good or evil. Our imagination and thoughts are generated from the awareness of several sources of information, as mentioned above. This information is derived from seeing, hearing, feeling, touching, learning and the environment. This is the reason why people's needs and ownership such as money, relationships and jobs, among others, have relations with the level of their consciousness. Awareness or consciousness. It's the state of being aware or conscious of events, objects, thoughts or emotions, without necessarily understanding them. Alternatively, it's the ability to integrate sensations from the environment and ourselves, or the inner being and external environment. This is done through the analysis of existing matters, in order to identify trends and develop a better perception of a situation or fact, as well as to create thoughtful methods of behavior. People need to be aware of everything they believe that can make them happy, because what we think the most is what we live too. All human beings are surrounded by thousands of opportunities. However, due to the level of our awareness, many people are failing to benefit from these opportunities. Being conscious is the ability to understand your personality. It can be examined by asking yourself frequently the most important questions that will benefit you. For example, what am I doing wrong in my life? Why do I fail and complain so much? Why my life so hard but my friends are so happy? What can make me happy? What can I do to improve it? among other questions. This is the result of being conscious, or aware, and starting to look forward to finding the answers with a great determination on these questions. We mostly may have tried to ignore the matters that affected us and pretend to think that nature, or God, will solve these problems without us taking any necessary decision. This is the reason why we failed to control our awareness, because of negligence and allowing emotions to drive our actions as a result of the daily issues we face around us. To understand the importance of a human being awareness, it's necessary to have a better understanding of the second level of our mind, the subconscious mind, which stores instructions from the conscious. For example, if we think good, pleasant will follow; if we think evil, evil will follow. Good or evil will be stored in our subconscious. The subconscious mind stores all the thoughts set through our mindset, or we think regularly. This allows us to achieve our wishes or desires, as the result of our prayers. The subconscious brings these imaginations and ideas forward through our experiences, for responses, and deals with our emotions, memories, identity, beliefs, and behavior. In addition, emotions are controlled through our thoughts. What we think generally is what we choose and accept from our conscious mind. We develop the unique mindset that allows us to think the same thoughts habitually. We express these thoughts upon the subconscious, which result from the way we act regularly. Knowing that the feeling is the conscious awareness of the body's vibration. What we feel is what we do. If we store too much fear in our subconscious, we will always feel afraid to do anything. For example, some theists or religious people ask many questions, why their prayers are not answered. The simple answer is because a human does not get what he wishes and prays for, but what he justly produces. His wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with their thoughts, mindset, and actions. This is clear that the entire life of a human being depends upon their own thoughts and mindset, which is controlled by the conscious and stored through the subconscious. These two levels of mind are vital for understanding a human being's success, failure, and happiness. The conscious mind, subconscious mind, mindset. The conscious mind, it's a human being's first level of thinking, being awake and able to see, hear, feel, and think. It's the intellectual mind, or the awareness at the present moment, which can accept or reject any ideas. This is the level responsible for logic and reasoning. It also plays the role of a security guard, as the main control of the awareness mind, which is the entrance of all bad or good ideas in our mindset. For a human being to start anything, they need to use their conscience to respond to any questions and situations in order to find solutions. The conscious mind controls all the actions that we do intentionally. An example is, having been given a task to complete, the first thing you need is an explanation of how to complete that task. After this, you will need to apply these explanations, and all this will be done under control of your conscience. In order to listen to and apply the explanations, your conscious mind must be awake. However, if your conscious mind is confused, you will not record accurately the correct information in your mindset. The result will be a failure to complete the task. Our mindset functions only with any concept that we believe or accept in our conscious mind. This helps us to generate new imaginations, thoughts, or ideas, as a result of our actions. As discussed above, the brain consists of organs like switches. These brain switches need the signals which are generated and supplied from the two levels of mind. The second level, which is the subconscious mind, is the backup and store of the first level thoughts or ideas and instructions. The subconscious controls the brain switches when we are unconscious or asleep. In some other articles or books, the unconscious level is considered the third level of mind. In other words, the subconscious works 24 hours a day, but it depends and gets instructions from the conscious mind, which does not work 24 hours. When we sleep, the conscious mind also rests. When our first level of mind is confused every time, our subconscious mind will also stock the wrong information and instructions. This makes it so clear the need to understand the importance of our consciousness as the main security guard of our brain and happiness. You need to pay attention to what you accept through your consciousness. It may affect your body by sending the incorrect signals to your brain, and your brain will guide your body with incorrect actions. The conscious mind helps us to decide and allows us to choose the best ideas or suggestions that seem good to our wishes. We set them in our mindset, which is the result of our thoughts stored in our subconscious that drives our emotions and feeling of our actions. All your thoughts are generated through your awareness as the source of your mindset and controlled by the conscious mind. When your mindset becomes confused, you could veer into irrational behavior. However, when you are in control, your conscious mind takes over, and you become a wiser man. Whenever you are aware of doing something, your confidence is generated through your conscious mind. Currently, you have this book with you, and you have decided to take time to read it. This entire process is performed by your conscious mind because you are totally in conscience, in order to read this book and understand it. This clarifies that your conscious mind is the master of all the choices you made upon your mindset. For example, if someone approaches you with negative ideas, which don't match your belief system, your consciousness will filter those ideas, and use or reject them. The awareness is like the source of your mind. At this present moment, you are in conscience or conscious of something on the outside as well as the specific mental functions happening on the inside. Largely, you are aware of your environment, your actions or anything else that you are doing now as well as the thinking processes engaged in the reading of this book. The subconscious mind, it's the second level of mind, the part of our mind that store our thoughts, skills, beliefs, memories and feelings we are not fully aware of. However, that can affect the way we behave. It is responsible for a human being's habitual actions, such as feeling and the emotional action. In addition, it's a storeroom that stores all the necessary information we believe from our conscience. It's like a hard drive in a computer which stores all the information we wish to see in the future. When our subconscious is in control with positive energy, it keeps our body healthy. These energies are the thoughts and ideas or the information that our conscious mind saves into it. The subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to choose or reject any thoughts we stock in it. It accepts whatever seems good in our consciousness. The only way to understand how it works is through an experiment, such as when we sleep, our breath rates and heartbeats, brain signals, are under the control of our subconscious mind. To illustrate, if one starts to breathe with intention, then the conscious mind is responsible for the action. If you are not intentionally controlling the breathing, as in sleep, subsequently the subconscious mind is directly responsible. Another example can be found when a person drinks too much and loses control of his conscious mind. They can still walk or drive back home without getting lost because the way home is stored in their subconscious. The subconscious mind does not receive information directly. It uses only the information stored by your conscious mind and what you attract in terms of opportunities within your lifetime. The reason why you must be careful not to allow negative ideas to control your mindset. You are likely to store these bad ideas in your subconscious. They will come back into your life, in various forms. I am cursed, I will never do it because it is impossible. I have been born into a miserable family or country, so I will die poor. I will kill these guys, because they are my enemies, or I hate them, among others. All these negatives and evil thoughts you keep on repeating and thinking will be stored in your subconscious. You will live with these thoughts shaping your actions in your entire life and influencing how you engage with your world because this is what you believe. One of the ways to clarify the working of the subconscious mind, I refer to one of the religious holy books for Christians. The Bible described these negative ideas in Mark 7 verse 20-23. He went on, What comes out of a person is what defiles them. 21 For it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thought comes: sexual immorality, theft, murder. 22 Adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance and folly. 23 All these evils come from inside and defile a person. All these evil things come from inside and make people unclean. Now you may ask questions about all these things made or manifest inside a human being's mind. Could they have been born with it? The answer is no. No one was born bad, criminal or perfect. We are all born empty in our mind, with no options. People around us or our families and the environment, where we spend most of our lifetimes, transform our mindset the most, to who we are today. In addition, people think wrong or good, because of our awareness mind, which allows us to collect any pleasant or bad information. However, the last decisions are made by ourselves through our conscious mind, after opening the gate and letting all worthy or evil information in our mind, through a process we call belief. When you believe on anything, you see, hearing, touching, feeling, smelling or experimenting in your environment and set all this information in your mindset. The environment awareness allows us to think the same information regularly. We store this information in our subconscious mind, which results in our feeling and actions. If we stored good information, happiness will follow, and as for bad information, evil and unhappiness will follow. Note: a human being's emotions or feelings are mostly controlled through their subconscious mind, which is the reason why you at times might feel afraid, nervous or depressed. Most people's beliefs and memories are stored in their subconscious mind during their childhood. We acquired countless memories and experiences that formed who we are today. However, we cannot recall most of those memories. They are unconscious forces, beliefs, patterns, subjective maps of reality, that drive our behavior. The right way to change the subconscious mind is to influence and improve the conscious mind logically to accept a new mindset, based on what we wish. The unconscious mind, which is part of our subconscious mind level, consists of the basic, natural wishes, as well as some of the information, which add no benefit to our lives. Although our behavior might indicate the unconscious forces that drive them, we don't have easy access to all the information stored in the subconscious mind, but we can change some of them. Because a human's circumstances are not necessarily directly self-chosen, but he can choose his thoughts and therefore, indirectly, he shapes the nature of his circumstances. The conscious and subconscious mind, these two levels of minds may be used together. In order to understand the difference between the conscious and subconscious mind, you need to go through simple exercises. First, attempt to control your rate of breathing. Breathe in and out for some seconds or minutes, at a certain specific rate. In this way, you are consciously controlling your breath, via the conscious mind. Now, revert to the regular way of breathing, uncontrolled. You will discover that your subconscious mind reverts to normal breathing rhythm. Our conscious mind does not work 24 hours, it needs rest and help from other systems. It is your subconscious that works 24 hours a day and controls all the involuntary bodily systems not part of our conscious intentions. In order to maintain balance in our lives, we need to maintain control of both our conscious and subconscious minds, or we will be at the mercy of the unconscious. This can easily leave us vulnerable to manipulation to the ideas of other people, who often take control of our mindset. In order to achieve personal growth, the best thing you can do for yourself is to understand how both the conscious and the subconscious mind work together. You can take advantage of their combined power. To understand how both can be used with each other is to experience the control over your awareness mind, such as feeling or emotion, which mostly lead us to act well, or evil. Since emotions are mostly controlled through our subconscious mind, it's difficult to stop them. However, Knowing your feeling is the result of your regular thoughts, and the conscious mind processes thoughts, which are the primary cause of emotions. You can freely control more your thoughts and in turn, your emotions. On the other hand, the conscious mind can also result in letting too many negative ideas and imaginations dominate your mindset. This will encourage your subconscious to store all these undesirable ideas, and at times we will express these through emotions, sometimes of failure. In addition, accepting any thought easily, from the media, friends, scientists, politicians and religious leaders, filtered through your own bad viewpoints. Mindset, it's the established set of the characteristic attitude of mind or a mentality held by someone or a group of people. It is the key to everything we need to achieve in our life. It is also the source of our regular thoughts, controlled by our conscious mind. If your conscious mind is in panic, it will be dominated with negative ideas and imaginations and confuse your thinking, which could further confuse your entire existence. Your conscious mind is the main key that generates your ideas and imaginations, but it can also confuse your mindset when you allow negative ideas to dominate. You need to ensure not to load your mindset with ideas which do not relate to your dreams and goals. We need to ensure that we incorporate the positive ideas and eliminate the negative ones as far as is possible in order to pay attention. Notice that what we think the most is also what we live too. One of the ways to control your mindset is to experiment on your awareness mind. By looking first at the environment you spend most of your time in, such as your friends, workplace, families, partner, communities, town, or the country, among others. Do these people or the areas encourage you or allow you to live happily or to achieve what you think is good in your future? If yes, that sounds good. However, if not, you need to set your mindset with a new behavior. Learn to protect yourself from the influence of your environment and find a unique way to achieve your needs. Start by reading many books, articles and histories of other people who achieved what you would like to be tomorrow. Otherwise, you will continue confusing your mindset and be limiting your thoughts. This will be stored in your subconscious and resulting in the actions of your current life condition. Imagine a person who sleeps outside for years and years and eats food from dustbins, but he does not get sick because of his mindset. He does not think of sleeping outside. Eating food that has been thrown away will destroy him. He has stored in his subconscious to see the positive in all situations and is far less likely, with this mindset, to fall prey to illness and hunger. He has made the best of his circumstances by maintaining the most positive mindset possible, despite the negative circumstances in which he finds himself. On the other hand is a person who sleeps in a comfortable house every day and eats a normal healthy diet. It is much more imaginable to believe that if he slept outside or ate food from dustbins, he is far more likely to fall ill, as his subconscious mind is unfamiliar to these circumstances and has been trained to see these circumstances negatively. The man with money in his pocket, which allows him to live a more comfortable life, has a subconscious mind attuned to those experiences which have been memorized and stored. This will affect the way he engages in the world when he is faced with poverty. In contrast, a man who does not have anything in his pockets regularly does not think about life in the same way. His survival, facing identical circumstances, as the man with wealth and a home, will operate from his unconscious in a completely different way. This is because the man with no money memories has stored them in his subconscious mind that has been shaped by the adversity he has faced. He has used this survival to create a positive mindset to help him to enjoy the rest of his life. This lesson allows us to see how experiencing a situation will have a profound effect on the kind of lives we live, whatever the circumstances we find ourselves in. A positive mindset will bring beneficial outcomes. A negative mindset will achieve undesirable outcomes. This shows us the power over the subconscious mind, as it uses what you have stored in your mind and attracts it into your life. Another way of looking at this is by focusing on the role the subconscious mind plays in creating positive patterns on what you wish in your future. It can be seen if you would like to ensure that you make extra time for studying during an examination period, and need to get up early. In order to do so, you will have to set this wake-up call in your mindset, and store it in your subconscious, by making a conscious decision to wake yourself up at 3 a.m. in order to study. Your subconscious will store, without the added aid of an alarm clock. Use this positive idea to wake yourself up at the appropriate time. If you fall asleep again without getting up to study, it will be as a result of your conscious mind deciding to countermand your subconscious command to waking and study. If the memory you have stored in your subconscious is strong enough, your subconscious will continue working to wake you up every morning at the same time. When the examinations are over, this current situation will amend the subconscious decision to wake you at 3 a.m. Your waking hour will be reshaped by your new circumstances and store a present appropriate time for your waking. In the same way, what you stored in your subconscious is what you're living now. What you are currently storing is also what you would attract in the coming years, or days and months. If you store more positive thoughts, this will give you more control in your life. This also will help you through building beneficial moments. You are likely to attract favorable experiences, and you might one day become a successful person or achieve all your needs. It is interesting to look into the role religious leaders can play in your life. Do you attract success through miracles or the prayer of religious leaders, or even your own prayer? While this is not likely to damage your chances of success, I believe it is your faith and what you believe in, the positive thoughts and ideas you have stored in your subconscious. These points will allow God to work through your subconscious mind and attract the success or resolution to the difficulties you are praying for. Sometimes you don't need someone to pray for you, you just need to have faith and use those beliefs so that God will respond through your prayer. The power of God will work within your subconscious mind to attract or give you strengths to act strongly in all you wish to see made alive, as a miracle of your prayers. Remember, God assists those who have faith and help themselves. Some of the corrupt religious leaders' primary aim is to make money, in which they inspire and motivate with positivity to program your mindset with positive ideas. These will be stored through your subconscious and attract positive outcome of your dream. There is a reason why, before you convert into any religion, most of the religious leaders will first ask you the declaration of faith, and to believe in their systems, their faith, and their God before they start their prayers. This is because they need to harmonize your mindset with their prayer's master or deity, to give you confidence about their God or deity to respond through your prayer. Most of the miracles do not occur as a result of the religious leader's prayer intervention but are a result of your subconscious mind. It has stored these positive ideas and gives you the courage or feeling to act on these beneficial thoughts. These then allow you to meet opportunities and your desire or answer to your prayers. No wonder why most of the religious leaders encourage you with two most important powerful words after their prayers: to faith. This motivates your mind, and search. This helps you to act. Faith will boost your subconscious mind on what you set in your mindset. If you set doubt, doubt will be the result. If you set confidence, your result will be positive. Search is the action of what you have set in your mindset and the result of your subconscious feeling. You will not continue looking for something if you don't believe it will happen sooner or later. You will quit after a period if you do not get it done as soon as possible. However, if you strongly believe, you will never let down your faith. These two words, the outcome of our mindset and stored in our subconscious, will attract the result of what we want. The main role most of the religious leaders play in your prayers is to encourage your faith and boost your confidence through your subconscious to attract a response to your prayers. The subject above has shown the importance of our mindset, conscious and subconscious, and how these parts of mind can benefit or affect your entire life if you can or cannot control them. negative ideas and imaginations. No one can love you more than you love yourself. Those who love you today, when you make a mistake with them, they could work away from you. However, when you make a mistake by yourself, you will never stop loving yourself. The reason why you are the source of your own happiness when you love yourself, or unhappiness when you don't love yourself. Your first enemy in your life is yourself when you allow negative ideas and imagination to dominate your mindset. However, there is only one way to start loving yourself. By starting to improve and loving your environment, your work, the life of all the people around you, your families and dream, which will bring you back the smile every day. I reckon about 50% of a person's happiness or unhappiness is guided through their own conscious minds and the remaining 50% through other people's concepts. A human being is not a benefactor or a sympathetic man in a society until he is a happy and wealthy being. Health, happiness and property are the results of a harmonious adjustment of man to his surroundings. Happiness and unhappiness are the results of our thoughts, generated by our ideas and imaginations, controlled within our conscious minds and set through our mindset. These thoughts are also the result of our plans, dreams and goals that allow us to fail or succeed in everything we do daily and for the rest of our lifetime. Most of our imaginations and ideas are dominated by the things we see, hear, feel, touch, smell, and the things we find around us. This formulates our thoughts by experimenting with the ideas we find on TV, reading books, listening to religious and political leaders, the scientists, media and other people's thoughts, friends, and families, among others. This is also sometimes done through our past event experiences. Your future depends on how much time you spend on what you're doing daily. If you spend a lot of time watching TV, on social networks, listening to music or to other people's ideas, your thoughts will be based on these ideas. Watching a lot of movies on TV will influence your imagination, which will empower your awareness mind, and this will lead your thoughts. The majority of your ideas and your mindset will be based on those movies' actions and will all be stored in your subconscious. Remember, your subconscious is a repository of saved past experiences, which have shaped the thoughts and ideas we store, filling us with particular memories, feelings, wishes and ideas. It is, therefore, important to maintain clarity in our goals and dreams. This is to avoid the confusion that might be created by allowing those stored negative unconscious thoughts to surface. It is at this point that you need to pay particular attention to the ideas you are focused on, as they are what is controlling how you live your lifespan. The more you focus on ideas that will impede your dream, the more likely you will fail to achieve those dreams. It, therefore, becomes important to ensure you focus on beginning to be the writer and manager of the ideas you absorb by populating your dreams with ideas that are in harmony. Evade becoming the passive participant of popular culture. This might distort your dreams and shift you from the positive path you have spent so much time in mapping out. Whatever professional path you choose for your life, from a politician or religious leader, an engineer to a doctorate, and everything in between, you need to ensure to spend your time reading and experiencing the people, movies, books, or anything with ideas that will be in harmony with your goals. This is to ensure that negative ideas do not dominate your mindset. Negative ideas and imaginations will confuse your entire life, they will lead you to bad judgments. There are many ways to expose these types of negative ideas. Most of these ideas and imaginations are first started by ourselves, by using past failures to judge ourselves and create unnecessary ideas we and others have constructed about ourselves, to dominate our mindset. However, the action is the result of your thoughts, and joy and suffering are its gifts. If you think good all the time, rejoice for happiness, and when you think evil, always be prepared for trouble. In order to avoid negative mindsets from dominating our thoughts and actions, we need to avoid falling into thinking about our past pains, jealousy, envy and anger. because you will not be concentrating on building your new thoughts but trying to break down your own and other people's dreams. Most of our suffering experiences are the result of our past and regular thoughts we stored in our subconscious. For example, jealousy is a poisonous emotion which turns you away from your own dreams. We need to learn to rein in our jealousy and learn to appreciate other people's prosperity. This will empower your mind to think more positively. Loving and appreciating someone else's achievement, growth and change will encourage and inspire your own ideas and spur your imagination in a beneficial way. Allow other people's successes to be the driver for your personal success. By using them as positive role models, you will enhance the chances of your particular dreams to succeed. We have learned, a tree will never grow without a good root system. Your dreams are like a tree. If you don't take care of the roots, it will not grow, and these roots depend on your mindset and the ideas that feed it. Always take examples of people's history of success, in order to produce the fruit of your dreams and avoid the barren path of negativity. Do not let your mind be dominated by other people's ideas but remain humble. It is the secret to learning and discovering more ways to transcend the challenges in your life. You can be inspired by anyone, and you should remain open to all ideas. Even a fool and a madman can inspire you. However, remember to take these ideas and measure them carefully before you decide to apply them into your own life or set them in your mindset. Don't just take ideas from friends and family, from religious and political leaders, TV programs, or any person in the world, without first interrogating them for both the values that are consistent with your own dream and their ability to set you on your intended path. Ideas can be both positive and negative, depending on the person. One man's meat can be another man's poison. If you choose an idea that is not in harmony with your dream, it can make you a slave and destroy your entire life. I always say, learn from other people's ways, but do not let them dominate your learning and feelings. On the other hand, we express negativity from our thinking. It's usually after we have been hurt by other people whom we sometimes refer to as enemies. It's difficult to love your enemies, but I guarantee you, there is a big secret to loving your enemies. Without enemies in our lives, there is no challenge and no possibility of real success. However, when we let our mindset to be influenced by their ideas, there is no success at all. When you love or understand your enemies, or people who hurt you all the time, it helps you to challenge yourself. In order to prove to them that even if they don't like you, you don't depend on them. Learn that the less you depend on other people's thinking, the stronger you become, and always do not rely on other people's prediction. They will learn to respect you, because you do not dismiss them out of hand when you disagree with them, in engaging with their ideas. Learn to show them why and how you differ from their position and are forging your own path. Responding in this way to those who think differently shows the strength and commitment to your particular ideas and dreams. Another aspect of engaging your opponents with success relates to how their thinking stimulates your personality. If you can disavow their power over you by your firm commitment to your confidential ideals, they cannot dominate you and your thinking. They might even see your importance and what you might have to offer to their lives. However, if you allow hate to be the dominant emotion, you will let negative ideas to control you, and this will restrict and limit your own development. It would easily influence you into hasty and unconsidered action. Instead of being another building block in your personal development, it could influence your mindset in a negative manner. This could then lead to the ruin of your dream, your plans, and even your reputation. Remember that when I speak of enemies, I am talking of any individual who might clash with your vision. Be it family, friend, or someone from your wider circle you might engage with, in any sphere of your life. Peace is obtained by weighing wisely any idea that enters your framework of thinking. It is then carefully considered and weighed, in relation to your dream and plans, to see its constructive value and finally discard it, if it is likely to impede rather than help develop your dream. A negative response is likely to have undesirable consequences and might lead you to an unhappy outcome. Remember, the ultimate goal is to always retain critical control over the development of your own mindset. In some of the African countries and other parts of the globe, you may often find leaders trying to use power to demoralize or intimidate those they think are their opponents or enemies. This is through a self-centered drive to gain or retain power. When they are close to the end of their mandate, they are afraid to leave their post or lose their power because of the way they served their post, through destroying reputations and even lives in pursuit of their selfish political dream. Pursuits that serve only themselves and rarely the people who elected them. This is in complete contrast to those leaders whose dream it is to serve selflessly. They are frequently tempted to retain control by extending their power, by trying to stay in office beyond their mandate. This clearly means to be always humble yourself when people treat you badly or bother you, to avoid negative thinking, which might affect your future. Today, we can see some of these selfish leaders who, after losing their job, become worthless in society. This is one of the outcomes of allowing negativity to dominate their mindset during their services. Surely it is better to be a loser in any bad action, than not a winner. Letting things go is a key driver in the success of any human being. For example, when we fall into conflict with any person and lose the argument or battles, we are left with two possibilities. 1. Revenge, which will construct a response that could easily cause the path of your dream to deviate. 2. Acceptance of your situation by letting things go, which is more likely to lead to living the rest of your life in peace. Revenge comes with certain consequences. In particular, you need to think carefully to ensure security for the rest of your life. That whoever you are planning to take revenge upon, are not preparing to get back at you. There are also secondary consequences in the sense of the damage to your soul and mindset, which is driving your dream. Revenge distracts from your plans and distorts your dream into one that is focused on your revenge rather than the positive outcomes you wish to achieve through your dream. However, acceptance or letting things go will free your mind to focus on your personal life and on your own dreams. As African people, we have paid too much attention to Western countries. This led us to ideas that have emanated from them without interrogating whether they are, in fact, serving African dreams. Alternatively, they are traps for our mindsets, supported by our slave masters, some African leaders, to control our lives economically, physically and emotionally, creating the patchwork landscape of misery that is modern Africa. Negative ideas are regularly generated by ourselves when we focus more on our feelings, and on things that we don't understand. For instance, when you get out of bed in a very negative way. If you think that you are going to get ill, you will get sick. If you think that somebody is going to be rude to you, they will be. Your imagination will create the situations because that is what you believed, then have woke on with anger and bad mood. This may turn your entire day badly. Always try to be positive. Believe everything will be okay. If negative ideas come, immediately change them to positive thoughts. Say no to it. Drop it immediately. Even if you don't know where to start, always walk in a good mood. Joyfulness will dominate and attract happiness. Often, we make the material success the center of all quests in our lives. However, other values like peace and happiness could be equal if not more important yardsticks to measure our success. You can have a productive and enjoyable life no matter how many coins you have in your pocket daily. It all depends on what you measure your success by. So, you should never be ashamed of the coins in your pocket. While you cannot live your lifespan happily without any money, it is the other values like wisdom, knowledge, family and peace that will lead to a happy life. Once you have decided on the guiding principles that dictate your behavior and action, or whether you want to focus on creating your own unique mindset, you need to pay attention to the decisions you are taking. By stopping dreaming too much and start doing more. Do not allow the negative to dominate. Do not allow procrastination to steal away this time in your life. And don't rely on prayers to be answered without seeking. Stand up and make plans, fix the things you can. And do not dwell on the obstacles that stand in your way. Lack of schooling is a challenge. Don't let it stop you. Poverty is a challenge for you to engage with, so you need to eliminate the word cannot. Phrases such as "I can't do it," "I have never been to school," "I was born into a poor family, it is too difficult," "I am not strong enough, my parents cannot afford it," "God is not answering my prayers," "The government is corrupt." All statements that construct a negative mindset prevent us from following our dream. Stop confusing yourself through excuses. It is up to you to decide whether you will succeed and whether that miracle can happen. Everyone has the power to do extraordinary things, but you need to first believe that anyone has the power to change whatever they decide to change. There is never a right time. The correct time is now. The right time is every day, because God is peace and joy. Which means that every single day you must enjoy everything you are doing. Stop thinking that other people are doing the devil's work. They understand something or possess some knowledge that you don't have. Ask yourself what they are doing that you are not. Are they working hard at achieving their dream? When they fail on something, do they give up or try again, and do they allow negative ideas to dominate their thinking? I always say, don't look far away, your solution is close to you, it starts exactly where you are. Just take your time to think and think again and start another way or fix what is broken. If your chosen path yields no success, try another. Not everyone is gifted at mathematics, and if you have tried and failed to succeed, it is time to start another path. There is no shame at shifting direction as long as you have given everything for that dream. Failing to achieve is your cue to try something else. However, always remember to use every ounce of your passion in your quest, as it is your passion and your force that will determine the power of God in achieving the miracles in your life. Many human beings, especially African people, have failed and suffered a lot, and many respond by saying the system is at fault. Colonialism and segregation, apartheid, and the past of European domination have impeded our progress. While this might be the reality of the past, if we continue to respond in this way, we will continue to fail to achieve our dreams. Nothing will change if we don't change our mindsets to eliminate the negative thoughts, which have been the cause of our failing after the colonization era. This is to inspire ourselves with modern thoughts by critically engaging with the challenges of Africa. The multidisciplinary research a company is striving with its ideologies and systems that seek to develop the African mindsets. This is done to help construct multi-common visions for a new Africa, together with other world organizations that are currently helping the African people with critical thinking.
Positive ideas and imaginations. Do not look for your solution outside your regular zone, by just stopping to doubt on yourself. Only by striving for improvement and practicing new thinking, could we start celebrating every day. Your dreams and ideas can seem crazy to other people, but you are the only one to turn your craziest ideas into constructive ones for the greatest impact. The positive ideas and our imaginations are the results of everything we see around us. If the world's early people, our grandparents, parents, brothers and sisters did not share or inspire us with their beneficial ideas, we would not be competent to achieve great dreams. Personally, I would not have been able to transmit these messages to you. Because of positive ideas and my imagination, I am competent to do anything in my life and experiment with the power of God. We expose positive ideas by letting 3 words, faith, or belief, self-discipline, or determination, and practice, or hard work, to dominate our mindset. These words power our conscious mind with ideas and play a significant role in setting up constructive plans, which lead to action with 2 results, positive or negative outcomes. A positive concrete outcome will come out of a positive mindset, while a negative mindset will produce nothing of value. Positive ideas need time, practice, faith, control and structure. However, the most important element in this process is that the ideas, even if they come through someone else, need to be filtered critically through your very own conscious mind. This is a mind that has been constructed with a specific aim of achieving your dream, in order to produce fruit rather than stone. I say, never let other people's ideas dominate your mind, even if they are good ideas. You need to critically engage with each idea and measure those ideas against your own ideas first, to establish one uniquely best idea. It is the critical engagement that allows us to establish which ideas should be discarded or which ones are useful and encourage us to find solutions to our challenges. All ideas should be considered. No idea is a mistake that should be immediately discarded. Neglect no idea, and if the time is not ready, always store it away for future reference. You never know when it might come in useful. One day, it might be a solution to a global problem, and you would be the first person to come up with it. Value all your ideas until they have been interrogated for their usefulness, and only then discard them. If you do not value your own ideas, no person will value them. People might make jokes on your ideas, because of their levels of thinking. However, you are the only one to make them believe on what you think can bring a norm change to humanity and yourself. Positive ideas come from our imaginations, and our imaginations remain one of the best sources for producing new ideas. Without productive imaginations, you couldn't read this book. In fact, the book might never have been written, nor a printer employed to print the book you are currently reading. The entire enterprise emerges from the imagination of people like you. Imaginations are the source of all creations in the human world. To have the money, you need to imagine any ideas that will lead you to get some coins in your pocket. The clothes you wear, the cars you drive, and other things, were all products of someone's imagination, which found their way through the search for solutions to any problem that affected our living. They used their imaginations and then modified them until the perfect design or solutions emerged and are produced in the factories around the world. Every aspect of our life that is manufactured is a product of the global population's imagination. Nothing of this would be possible without beneficial ideas and a positive mindset to nurture those ideas into existence. There is also a relationship between the ideas, and all that emerges from these ideas, and God. Although I have never seen the image of God, through my imaginations, dreams, testimonies, work and passion, I have experienced the power of God through this process. My relationship with God is a guiding force which inspires me to act, but it is my actions that make my dreams come true. The spiritual can be harnessed to act. God can play a central role in anyone's life, as long as they focus on the positive and reject negative thinking, so often a part of our mindsets and imaginations. Another aspect of a positive mindset is to avoid limiting our imaginations at their source. Coming up with new ideas is a very creative process, and for this process to work effectively, it is important to be open, to have no limits until the idea has been rigorously interrogated. I say, stop limiting yourself by saying it is impossible. Limit at this point can confuse your focus and create worry, which can distort your plan and potentially lead to preventing yourself from continuing and promoting a consciousness of failure. By remaining open to all possibilities, as long as they are constructive, will help maintain a positive mindset, which is the key to continued success. So remember, stay positive and do not allow negativity to distract you from your goal. You are a man or a woman like any other, with brain and ideas and capable of rational and creative thought. You need to believe, you are just like any person, from the greatest achiever to the one that lives next door. Keep inspired and forging forward repeatedly, despite failure after failure. As long as you are learning from your mistakes, you can make it happen. You need to say, I will keep my focus and carry on until I get it done. I say, the longer you force, the more you learn, and discover the many ways to bring out your best. Thomas Edison failed many times in his quest to achieve a working light bulb that illuminates our world. There will be many people who will try to discourage you and advise that this is not a normal path and that you are wasting your time, but a positive mindset will keep you on track. Another aspect of life we need to consider is complexity. Not everything in life can be grasped immediately, as life is constructed of complex systems that we need to study in order for us to understand them. If you think back to your mathematical education and algebraic equation in your school days, for those over age, did you understand their meaning and practical application the first time you encountered them? I think probably not. What this means is that we need to ensure that we spend the time and hard work attempting to study this complexity until it becomes clearer, and we can see its value. Many people throw up their hands in despair and do not put in the hard work required to comprehend these complex ideas and systems. This leads to confusion and failure. It is almost as though the numbers and symbols are magical, and you need to be a wizard in order to understand them, while the answer lies in perseverance, sticking with it until a picture emerges from the chaos of your confusion. Familiarizing yourselves with new systems can lead you to clarity as they become more and more familiar. However, the time and effort you spend on studying the problem will lead from a basic to a more complex understanding as you move from being a novice to a master through your experience. A junior electronics engineer or technicians never understood the interior of a new phone, but they gradually mastered an understanding through study and hard work. They spend more time to understand the various components that make up the modern phone. They are learning how to dismantle and rebuild it, and the workings of the new cell phone become clearer. All too often when we want instant gratification, we spend more time working on our wish, and if we do not get the first one, we move on to another plan. This idea of never giving up until we gain mastery of something is part of a positive mindset. It's one of the key points that we need to encourage in Africans today, and all global citizens, in order to find solutions to the complex problems facing our continent and our world. Do you remember your first day of school, the confusion in your 5 or 6-year-old mind, not knowing what was going on? Each new subject presented a bewildering array of modern ideas that you had to absorb and understand. After you mastered the first idea, then you had moved on to a fresh idea, and the whole process would begin again. From grade to grade and from subject to subject, you were bombarded with unknown ideas, which were introduced so quickly, you often felt lost. How did you cope with this problem? Was your confidence dented or even destroyed, or did you pick yourself up and try again if you failed to understand the first time and the second time and the third time? Did you ask for help, or did you hide in your dented confidence and never gain the mastery and understanding required for success? When you respond to these questions, this may help you see what you are doing wrong. The positive mindset we are speaking of is not only important within the context of your formal schooling and education, but extends into every sphere of your life. Your ability to get beyond the notion that everything you think is magical will never be understood at the point where you understand those things unless you work hard at them. We need to try repeatedly and ask for help if we cannot solve things on our own. The cell phone might seem magical to a person who has never encountered such an object. Somebody who has mastery and understanding of that phone will eventually eliminate that veil of magic and transform it into understanding. If we can fix this within our positive mindset, all in Africa will have started on their new journey of discovery and find Africa's place in the global complexity of existence. I say, stop judging and start doing, instead of limiting your own imagination. With success comes attention, and with attention comes jealousy. Jealousy can be generated from other people around you, who let the negative mind dominate them because you have succeeded, and they have not, while you have taken from the lessons of a positive mindset and all that it entails. They have not, and they are still locked in old ways of thinking. The colonial mindset that taught Africans they were inferior and that locked them into the role of a servant to the masters. The new role of the citizens of Africa who are conversely locked into old ways of thinking. These thinking ways are led by the modern masters and most of our present leaders, religious and political, who are currently in control over our thoughts and ideas for their own purposes, for their personal interest. This is a call to arms to do away with the old ways and the negative mindsets, which have obstructively controlled Africa's destiny, to forge a new path so that we can join the world as equals. In my journey through writing this book, I find particular iniquitous examples. How some modern African leaders, both political and religious, have done little to re-educate Africa's youth into believing in the power of their own mindset, in their ability to achieve the education or greatness they want and the dreams they dreamt without relying on magical and traditional resources to obtain their goals. In my young age, me and most of my friends were taught or often heard in my environment, to become a billionaire or make a huge impact throughout the world, you must involve yourself in the mystical life. I came to realize these were systems planted into our minds to limit our mindset, by stopping the thinking out of the box. Alternatively, these are some of the scarred systems that limited young Africans in productivity. This is one of the reasons that led most of the African countries to depend on other people who come from overseas, expatriates. They seem largely as the extreme creators, inventors or producers of Africans' opportunities and jobs. I used to think all the entrepreneurs, inventors or great leaders around the world are magical practitioners. However, I came to realize that I was wrong and learned that in this world if you don't try by yourself, you will be driven like an animal by those who understand much about civilization. When some of the African youths believe that in order to pass an examination at university or to achieve great dreams, they need to rely on spells, muti, or magic, instead of hard work. They are allowing the old colonial mindsets to control their thinking, instead of using their own critical judgment. This mentality leads them to be totally under control of their new masters or some corrupt leaders, who are only interested in maintaining power by using negative mindsets to keep their citizens from gaining the knowledge that will set them free. Today, some African religious leaders refer to the excessive scientists, technologists, doctors and engineers, among others, around the world as believers in the devil, that the knowledge they have to share is devil worship. By promoting this kind of thinking they are hobbling the development of the African people. This is enslaving their citizens in a kind of thinking that cannot free them and produce the African minds to develop our continent. When people develop a critical mindset, it is an undesirable scenario for the masters in that it will not only have freed Africans to think differently, it might also work directly against the control that some of the religious and political leaders have over their people. Educating African youth into critical thinking could be the start of a revolution. One that will transform Africa and rid the continent of the kind of leaders who are not interested in this kind of revolution. To achieve the kind of success we have been referring to, and to create the kind of mindset that will bring us this success, we need to have a focus. Notice that there is one question you need to ask yourself in your life, which is, do you decide to live in this world to survive or to succeed in your life? If you choose to survive, be ready for failure, rejection, discrimination, poverty, suffering, and depression among others. Sometimes these conditions may end your life evidently. This is a result of surviving. It is realized when you don't care about yourself and depend on other people's ideas and imaginations, by letting negative ideas and imaginations to dominate your mindset. If you chose success, you need to start believing that we are born to succeed and learn to make proper choices on whatever options or fields that will make you happy for the rest of your lives. We fail because we don't want to achieve our vision and try to follow other people, or we are lacking passion and limiting our value. Always remember, your best is constantly in front of you when you start believing that your future is in your hand. You need to learn how to work hard and keep on searching, because only by looking forward to it every day, will your dream definitely come through. Every human being can achieve whatever they put in their mind when they enlarge their vision and increase confidence, which attracts the good around them. Be strong to face troubles daily, because success needs proper plans before action, by asking questions and questioning everything, avoiding the negativity in you. However, If you make a mistake, you need to correct it. Letting go of the bad past and never ever giving up. I say, no one in this world was born in the same country, hospital, month, day, time, year, second and have the identical name as your full names. The reason why you are unique and your conscience is the only first level of your mind, as the source of most of your circumstances of what you are currently living. It's also the key that can lead you to what you want to achieve tomorrow. Your success is in your hand, and it depends on your positive imaginations and ideas. I would like to congratulate you on starting to plan from today, to be yourself. Work hard on your plans, because the whole world is waiting for your contribution. Please wake up. These messages were written for you to open your mind and remind you, you have duties to complete in your entire life before your death, so stop confusing, and start completing your duties. By starting to ask some questions such as, what is the meaning of life? Why were you born? Why must you suffer, and other people enjoy? Why must you be happy and see other people suffer? Why do people kill each other for money, among other questions? The challenge is to do something about your duties. Maybe your dreams have solutions to one of these questions. The positive attitude will bring you joy and confidence, and take all your stress away because you will have a new way to animate your life even if you don't have what your friend has. However, your mind will always remind you that you are not a failure, it's just that your time is not yet. You need first to do something about it so that you can get that thing done. Positive ideas and imagination will bring you peace. Live like great believers. They don't worry, they always sing and wait upon God, but do not be totally like other believers who seem happy but are not working hard nor searching for solutions at the end. They start to confuse themselves after years have passed waiting on God, prayer with no action. You must be like a soldier who, in a fight, knows he must fight to save his life, and if he fights harder, he will succeed and save his life. Believe any dream will come into life one day because you're working on it. Don't bother yourself how long it will take for you to bring it out, but as you keep on practicing and working hard, failing and standing to finish the run, you will achieve it, and such motivation will always help you. Be close to people who talk more about the same dreams you want to achieve. Do not allow stress to overtake you. It can steal all of your happiness, and achievement loves every moment you are living. You may read more books, which discuss the benefit of positive or creative minds. You need to understand that in this world you can become the type of person and success you want to achieve. However, this can only be achieved primarily by believing in yourself, which is the result of regular positive thinking. Knowledge and wisdom. A human being has the ability of two concepts in his or her life, wisdom and knowledge. Wisdom is the state of being wise, understanding and knowing a lot about things and able to make sensible decisions, with a good judgment and discernment on anything that benefits humans and the environment. Alternatively, this is acquired through general knowledge and experiences, which develop over a period of a human's life. Knowledge is what you know and understand about something. It's also a store or a set of historical accidents corrections that allow human beings to improve their future, like the set of information, of practice or theory, learnt, trained or studied at institutions or organizations, etc. Alternatively, this is acquired through studying, practice, training or experiences. Every human being is gifted with wisdom, which can be developed within a course of mindset development. It can also be achieved by experimenting with the past and present histories for a period. We become wiser when we have a clear understanding of many things in the entire life of human beings and develop good discernment. We don't study wisdom as a subject at an institution, but we develop wisdom by experiencing all the things we study and live. It's clear that the majority of old people are wiser, because of the experience of the moments they lived and having understood the principle of goodness and badness. Some of the wise young people are mostly those who grow up around the old wise people and learned much from them. Some others are those who seek many ways to understand the past and present events, and analyzes them to develop their mindset. Knowledge is learnable in any institute or organization and is divided into two types: specialized and general knowledge. Specialized knowledge, it is to study or know a lot about one special thing, to pursue specific fields of study. This allows you to understand better or be able to complete an excellent job or solve a problem on one or few particular tasks of education, but limit you in many things. This can be a danger when you need to develop your mindset. General knowledge, it is what you know about a lot of different things, to pursue multiple fields of study or practices. This allows you to complete much work or understand many problems in human beings' lives. However, it can also fail you on some unfamiliar tasks, but generally, this type of knowledge always helps a human being to develop their mindset. It can also result in the improvement of human wisdom. To date, specialized knowledge does not fully help people to achieve everything they need throughout their lives. It always limits their mindset. For example, if you study mechanical engineering, there is about 95% chance for you to get a job within mechanical trades and get paid a good salary. Alternatively, you might design a new technology or start a business in a mechanical trade. However, if there are no mechanical jobs in your country and you fail to use your knowledge in other activities, you may fail to achieve your dreams. At this stage, if you cannot develop your wisdom, confusion may take over your mindset. Due to a misconception that knowledge is the main power, millions of people are wallowing in confusion until they realize that intelligence without control and lack of understanding is the source of their depression. You need to learn today. Wisdom is the most powerful thing you need. Knowledge becomes power only when and if it is organized into definite plans of action. Today, some of the African people who obtained high qualifications might think they are more important than those who did not. I learned by myself through my own experience, and I say, an intelligent person without wisdom becomes a danger to other people's lives. For example, some of the African youth believe after the completion of any training at an institute, they are the best or are cleverer than those who had not a chance to reach a university or a higher institute. However, when they fail to get jobs, they run to fight and blame their leaders, because they have been inspired and taught that education is the instrument that will lead them to get employment. Today in Africa, the issues of employment continue to confuse many people, especially the qualified. Joblessness in African countries continues to keep the continent behind in terms of rapid development. The African education system continues to fail us because most of our youth do not really understand that the education is just a system which helps a person to acquire new knowledge and ideas that will allow them to make a change within their lives. Consequently, they can assist other people who did not have the opportunity to reach that level. On the other hand, we use this knowledge to empower our families. Furthermore, it is also among ways to make a change within companies, societies, countries, continents and in the world. It is not necessarily that, after completing our studies, one will immediately or possibly get a job in one's area of speciality. However, we must use this knowledge to create our own opportunities in anything we like to do or to achieve within our dreams. The main reason why we need a job is only that of our financial level. Nevertheless, because of some African leaders' propaganda, with agendas to stay in power for longer terms, they are afraid of losing their job. They continue to fail and are inspiring African youth to go for and study for jobs and not for developing their mind. This in order that these intellectual youths may assist them to create jobs for other people who have not an opportunity or ability to reach higher education. Some of these African leaders fear not getting support or more votes at the time of elections. They are continuing to keep on promising the people for job creation and go out of the continent to look for investors but continue to fail to create their own private investors. Many African youths are failing to follow their own passion. When they see that passion has no job opportunity within their country, they will change their passion to another type of passion that has an opportunity for them to get a job after studying. This has become and remains a big confusion in the continent and has proved that the African education system is very poor. In order to change these minds, We have to change the way people think about and introduce a system that will change the mindset of Africa. It is discussed more above, by promoting critical thinking, which is the key to change the world. For example, in the 21st century, many businessmen never reached higher education, but they developed their mind and used the knowledgeable people to make them rich. They are the ones who benefit more and live happy lives. To implement change in this kind of mentality, the AYI'S company developed a part-time course, Life Orientation and Vision Guide course, called African Youth Inventions Mindsets and Skills Development Course, OMSD course. It focuses on how to develop Africa's youth mindset and guide them in starting to work on their vision at a young age. Another example, I worked for one company with a qualification level of National Diploma, Electrical Engineering, in 2014, and got paid an average salary for my qualification. However, one specialist in the company was earning 3 times more than me, with a certificate of 1 month training, in comparison to a national diploma that takes 3 years at university. I was confused and asked many questions. Because he did not get help or the opportunity to go to university after completing his secondary school, matric, but he did not give up. He developed his mindset to find something that gave him an opportunity to enjoy his life. He went for a specialist training course, Inspector, which took him a shorter time to complete the certificate, but allowed him to earn enough money. This is to encourage you not to despair when you have no opportunity or support to continue the post-secondary education. Today, many education methods, like the internet search engines, Google, Yahoo, Bing, Ask.com, among others, library, books, and especially YouTube videos, may help a lot to gain extra knowledge. I learned to repair computers and much other knowledge without attending any training courses at any institute but used YouTube video training and some library books. Since 2013, I have continued to earn some extra money with this knowledge by repairing people's computers and laptops, among other gadgets. In addition, some of these skills have helped me to set our office, without spending more money on hiring other technicians, which would fail me to implement my business ideas, due to my financial level. Many ways, in our period, help us to understand anything we want to know and learn before it is too late to develop our minds. When you get or have created your own opportunity and prove to people about your knowledge, they will trust you and come to you for help. You will be surprised to earn more money and even do better than someone who attended post-secondary school earlier. However, if you have the opportunity to attend university, it is very important to develop your mind at higher levels, where you learn and get trained by some people such as professors, doctors, technicians, and engineers, among others, who possess more experience. They will guide you at the institution with fundamental information. However, you still will need to go out again to research more for different or particular information, to make it easy and extend your understanding more than someone who has never attended this level of education. This will help you to make an impact in this world or achieve most of the things you dreamt. This is a result of your passion, despite the situation you are currently living. It's up to you to decide which is the best way to achieve greatness. Learn that your level of search will determine the level of your achievement. This has got nothing to do with someone who has been or not been at university. Instead, it is the result of your passion, dreams and effort that will guide you to seek the opportunities and general knowledge to develop your wisdom. If it means to study every day, it's up to you because everything is around you. I always say, your qualification means nothing in your society, it's just a title that people may respect. However, your mindset is the most important aspect to people, how you think, plan and act. This will give them the confidence to determine their attention and respect of your presence. The reason why most of the employers will ask your experiences regarding the duties of the position you applied for, because it's not your qualification they request the most. Your experience or skill is the most important thing they need. Your qualification is just a symbol that gives them a picture of the level of your thinking and the knowledge. If you can't deliver the job, you will be fired. They prefer to keep someone with no qualification but with the capacity to complete the job on time. All the boss's mission is to rent your level of mindset or knowledge to solve their problem but not to waste their time. You may have a doctorate or master diploma, which allows you to apply the rules of mathematics or whatever you study. However, it could be of no benefit to the society, if you do not understand how the first people who discovered this knowledge did to develop these rules. Do these rules continue to assist us? Alternatively, do you just accept it because they taught you 1 + 1 = 2 and you believe? This is the difference between knowledge and wisdom. The knowledge man stops with 1 + 1 = 2 and follows only rules. A wise man wants to experiment from the past and look for the benefit to the future. They will start with questions such as, how did these men prove that 1 + 1 = 2? Why not 1 + 1 = X? They focus on the future, worrying and questioning more about tomorrow. They ask the crazy questions and apply critical thinking and experience acquired before they accept any rule. A wise man's answers always sound mad to a knowledge man, because knowledge people follow rules, and after they fail on rules, they give up. The wise people see danger and apply their experience, compare the past and the present and tell you the future. They sound crazy because you may have another answer within that knowledge or reveal their problem. Sometimes they will tell you something different from what you have studied, but with the best solution. Belief, enemy, yourself, and fear. There are 3 bad friends you will find in your life: enemies, yourself, and fears, and 1 best friend, belief. The best friend, belief, is a sure feeling that something is true or real or morally good, an affirmation of faith. Without faith, there is no belief. The law of life is the law of belief, and it's the result of thinking. In addition, to believe is to feel sure that something is true, or that what somebody says is true. A desire or thoughts which are in a human being's mind, that gives them confidence on being passionate to search for their prayers' answers or wishes. We believe or have faith through our mindset. To have faith is to feel sure that something or somebody is good, right or honest, and for religions, people have faith in God or other systems of believing. It's also a state of mind which we create by our affirmation or a repeated instruction to our mindset, through the principle of auto-suggestion, one of the techniques used to program our subconscious mind for success. Today, every human being's desires are happiness, health, security, true expression, peace of mind, long life, finding a true love, among others. However, many people are failing to achieve these wishes, because of the levels of their belief. For example, all religions' leaders demand and teach 3 main principal things to do. These are, to believe, have faith and love your religion's holy book, rules. Some religious leaders will ask you, as followers, to spend much time on their religion's holy book, and less time on other books. Further, that God responds through your desire when you totally believe in your religion's rules. If you don't believe in your holy book, stop praying and attending that religion, because you're wasting your time, or you will not see the miracles. The same goes for all human beings' life. When we believe less or doubt in our dreams, we store negativity in our subconscious. This affects our actions and mostly fail us to achieve these dreams. There is one brilliant mind. It goes with one excellent action within human beings, which can attract all wonderful things they need to achieve their dreams. It is to believe in our mind and to search through action for the solutions on whatever we wish to achieve in our life. Many people are confused because they don't know the importance of power they possess within their mind that can allow them to attract and achieve many things they need. African mothers have given birth to 2 types of children, winners and losers. Winners are people who grow up with confidence, who believe that they have been born for a purpose, and to fulfill missions on this planet. They know they will succeed. They do not allow challenges to make them veer from the path. They might have failed at times, but they do not allow this to defeat them. They pick themselves up to dust themselves off and begin again. They have learned to let go of their dependence and have developed independent minds that can take calculated risks that serve them in their goals. They have learned how to get things done. Losers grow up full of doubt. When things go wrong, they start blaming others and complain about challenges and give up. They wait for their mother to provide food on the table. These types of children mostly consider themselves as doomed to poverty and failure, due to the environment or other awareness effects over which they have grown up. They believe they have no control over their lives. They are the creators of their own misfortunes or bad luck because of this negative belief, which was stored up by the subconscious mind. This translated into physical actions as a result of their living conditions. When opportunities arise, they are afraid to take the chances, and never learn to take the calculated risks, like their more successful friends. They fear failure and ridicule themselves when things do not go well, and do not try again to develop the kind of independence that is a requisite for success. If Africa wants to create more successful children, we need to learn, as parents and communities, how to create the right conditions. This, so as to promote the positive mindsets that are essential to the success of Africa's children. Bad friends. An enemy is a person who hates you, any individual or a group of people who have taken up opposition against us or our ideas. People who feel hatred toward us and might even engage in aggressive activities, which serve to undermine our success. Enemy is a strong word, mostly influenced by an awareness mind, especially emotions or feelings. These are associated with anger, hatred, frustration, envy, jealousy, fear, distrust, and sometimes grudging respect. These people mostly don't believe in negotiation and expect encounters with hate, violence, battle and war. They will never assist you when things go wrong on your side, sometimes cheering you on your way to failure. Enemies are a part of our life, and we cannot eliminate them. So what is the answer to this difficulty in our lives? Do we allow ourselves to be distracted from our goals? Has our energy been split between our dreams and dealing with their hatred, or do we embrace them as challenges to be overcome as part of our path to our goals? It would be foolish not to monitor them, but do not expend your energy in hatred. This will free you to concentrate on your own dreams. By keeping yourself with a passive mindset, enemies help you to achieve greatness. Notice, when they plan to hurt you or talk bad about you, they are actually motivating you to work hard on your visions, and eventually, you may get ahead of them. I always say, get motivation from those who hate you, and get inspiration from those who love you and those who have achieved greatness. Those who love you bring you new ideas and support you. Those who hate you teach you about your mistakes and weaknesses. They will talk badly about you in any matter, as long as you keep on moving within your vision. They will create a controversy and make you popular in some sense. Controversies can lead to very powerful outcomes and make your popularity grow. Enemies will help you to know the negatives in you, and let you improve on your mistakes, which can lead you to success. However, persons that love you more will accept everything positive and negative within you and allow you to continue doing something you think is right in your life. They agree to whatever you say and decide, as they don't want to go against you, even if you are wrong, in some sense. In contrast, enemies will always be against your words, which gives you the sense to think deeper before you take actions that lead you to success. Enemies can be encountered through two actions: the involuntary and voluntary. Involuntary enemies are the result of different moral, ethnic, color, religious, political and cultural groups, which have distinct ways of seeing the world. Another way we experiment with this type of enemies is when someone bothers you all the time. In addition, when some people irritate you to the core, or any person who fought with you, hurt you by calling you names or disrespected you in public, causing you immense pain. Alternatively, they may have done something horrible to you, among other things. So what strategies should you adopt in relation to this type of enemy? Often this type of enemy has emerged through competition for power or ideological differences or even ignorance. These would have been promoted by leaders and members from different groups. By offering the understanding, by attempting negotiation and by educating, we can go a long way in softening the feelings of hatred that have arisen from differences. Your energy would be better spent on trying to change their mindset than engaging with them in traditional enemy mode. You may turn out to be a solution to the troubled relationship. Your kindness may play a positive role in shaping their mindset. Voluntary enemies are the types of enemies mostly caused by ourselves. They are mainly generated through our will. When we let some emotions to dominate our mindset, like being filled with anger, frustration, envy, pride, hatred, and jealousy for other people, or grudging respect for some people who do not execute. For example, when you love or ask for help from somebody or people, but that person does not execute your demand. You need to understand this person has got his own reasons why they don't want to assist you or be with you. Learn to move on, to find good persons. When you see your friend achieve his dream, do you develop jealousy or anger against them? This attitude leads to the enemy act and destroys your personal happiness. I say, learn from your friend's achievement to understand more of your errors and to motivate yourself. We respond with undesirable emotions because we allow laziness and give up to continue our hunts. This tolerates negatives dominating our mind, and generates bad feelings towards others, therefore, promoting stress and unhappiness. Consequently, these come to dominate us and sometimes fail us to concentrate on our personal dreams. I often say, when we dislike ourselves and do not understand our own dreams, we become the victims of enemies. Our response encourages a similar response from our enemies, increasing the enmity between the two parties rather than alleviating it. It is important, at this stage, to stand back and try to understand the pain we might have caused and the reasons why our enemies have responded in the way they have. So it is vital to regaining control of our shattered mindset. We reinforce the positive principles in alignment with our dream and reject the negativity of hatred consuming us. The best way to get rid of this is to avoid confusion. Being a bad friend to yourself, it is important to learn to manage yourself by controlling your emotions. Emotions are a result of our faith or belief, thoughts and mindset. The emotions of faith, love and sex are the most powerful of all major emotions. The three are a result of our regular thought or mindset stored through the subconscious. When one of them or a combination of these emotions is blind, it derives an effect called complexity or confusion through one's entire life. Example, faith. When you are blind to the faith in something, such as religion, you could be led to commit crimes when people talk badly about your religion. If other people want to convince you of any wrongdoing of your religion, you might lose your humanity and take God's authority to fight or kill another human being. Often forgetting that God, Allah, is more powerful than you to deal with any person who is talking wrongly on his religion. Love. When you are blind with the love of something or someone, you could commit various acts of crimes against others who are against what you love, without control. After the acts you regret. Sex. Any person, when they are blind to sex, can do any rash actions during sex or in search of a sex partner and regret after that. These three emotions are the most dangerous than any other types of feelings. You need to learn to manage yourself by controlling your conscience, in order to control your emotions. I say, a person who doesn't know himself or herself is a loser. One of the ways to get to know oneself is to understand how much you control or what thoughts you have stored into your subconscious mind. Start looking at what you are currently thinking and storing for your future. These are parts of the human experience that are controlled by their conscious minds. Knowing the unconscious, being able to tap into those secrets can show us the miracle power behind the human imagination. Any human being can bring more power, more wealth and more happiness by learning to request the power of their subconscious. Notice there are many proofs in this world that whatever you impress in your subconscious mind will also be expressed in your life. Feeding the subconscious with the right thoughts and feelings will allow us to acquire the vision we have for our lives. So if you think it will be impossible to achieve your dream, it will remain unachievable. This is because your subconscious mind has not been fed with thoughts and ideas to sustain that vision. By keeping your mind in harmony with positive effect, you will attract the good things and people which will allow you to translate your dream into reality. You have only one mind, but your mind consists of two linked elements. These are the objective and subjective mind, the conscious and the subconscious mind, the voluntary and the involuntary mind, the waking and sleeping mind, among others. These joined elements must remain in harmony with each other to achieve a dream. So remember, your life is like a garden, and you are the gardener, and you need to make sure of what type of seed you are planting. The mind must be seeded correctly with the values that align with your goals and objectives and dominate your thinking. Concepts like peace, happiness, right actions and good thoughts must become part of your habitual thinking to bear fruit. These fruits should be rooted in a positive mindset that will transform Africa and its youths to allow them to take a leading role on the global stage. Your fears is a bad friend. Fear is the feeling that you have when you think that something bad might happen. These feelings often guide us to failure. However, while fear can sometimes be a positive force in our lives, mostly, it paralyzes us into inaction and works consistently against our goals and objectives. In order to change your external condition, you first need to change your internal conditions because they are so closely related. Imagine if any of your inner body organs, like the ears, the kidneys or the eyes, stop operating. Your physical body will be compromised. In order to change this situation, you will have to see a doctor to treat your diseases and conditions. In the same way, life has a habit of introducing obstacles and conditions that compromise what we can achieve. In order for us to become more effective in our lives, we need to repair our effects by changing our world through changing the conditions we find ourselves in. The only way to achieve this is to change first our mindsets. To remove the limitations, the negatives, the confusion, and reframe the failures of poverty and criminality, which might be holding us back. As African people, we need to start to fix first the causes of negative thought and reorient the environmental and educational systems that have led us down this path. This means in order to change African conditions, we must first change African people's thoughts. We need to swap peace for pain, joy for sadness, faith and confidence for fear, success for failure. This means again, we need to accept failure as our friend, as success is rooted in the failure of many attempts to get things right. You will never be a doctor, a writer, a singer, a scientist, a leader, a politician or take any other great responsibility that needs courage if you allow fear in your life. Remember, fear is an emotion which can control your whole body and actions. If you allow this emotion to dominate your mindset, it will be stored through your subconscious and the rest of your life will be affected. You may see your friend take courage and risk doing things and achieve their dreams. Will you waste your entire life continuing to blame your leaders or parents because of your own state of mindset? Stop asking many negative questions such as, if I fail, will people make jokes against me? The only way to learn the modern way is to fail on the first try. If people make jokes about your failure, positively they help you to think of new ideas and work hard on what you failed, to prove them wrong. Negatively, they'll fail you when you don't know what you want to achieve. There are some other questions such as, do I have money? Just try to start something before you complain about money. You don't know that you may meet with people who have that money you need but do not have your ideas. I can't talk to him because he is boss. Your boss will never know your problem if you fear to approach him. In order to stop fear, you must learn to love failure and take a risk. Depression and stress. Depression is a feeling of unhappiness that lasts for a long time, the illness that affects the mind and the brain. Furthermore, it is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest, or a brain disorder. It is caused by different factors such as stress, pain, substance abuse, hereditary characteristics, changes in hormone levels, or some medical illnesses. All these factors are developed and manifest in our physical and non-physical aspects, which may warn you to pay attention to physical and non-physical parts of your body, to avoid the symptoms of depression. On the other hand, your internal, and external organs must be properly protected by yourself. As mentioned above, that the brain and mind are the two physical and non-physical parts that control your entire body. For example, the factor of stress effect is caused directly through our mind, and pain through both brain and mind. You need to understand, the non-physical part plays a primary role in everything we do. We have been taught that God is more powerful than any human being. Similarly, your mind is more powerful than any other physical part of your body. You will realize the mind is the first cause of most of our sicknesses. For instance, if you think bad thoughts regularly, you will always end up in the wrong places and get hurt. The first medication for the symptom of depression is your conscious mind. It is the security gate of every negative awareness that can cause some of the factors of this symptom. So you need to read repeatedly this chapter, and other books that discuss the conscious mind, to understand how to control your thoughts in order to minimize the causes of depression. When depression takes control, it affects your brain operations, as mentioned above. Your brain is like a processor in a computer. It's composed with banks of switches. If some switches get damaged, other parts of your body will not work properly, and this will cause another damage in your physical part. How do your brain switches get damages? Simple example, in an electronic circuit, when you supply more current than the requirement, a component heats up. If you don't stop the power, that heat will damage the component. The same goes with your brain. Your mind is like an electric current which sends the signals to your brain switches to execute and do tasks. But your brain has a limit of current or thoughts per second. If you think the same thoughts every second repeatedly, this will cause one of depression's factors, stress. You are going to send many signals to your brain. On the other hand, you're supplying more current, this will create heat. Heat is another factor of depression known as pain in your physical body. To stop the heat in an electronic circuit, there are two primary ways: the use of a heat sink and fan, or the stopping of electric power to cool down the circuits. Similarly, through your body, you also get two primary ways to stop your pain. Take medication of pain to cool down your pain or stop thinking and stressing. Go to sleep or make yourself busy with something that will take you out of your stress. Notice, in an electronic circuit, when the temperature exceeds the normal temperature of the circuit, there is only one way to stop the power supply, otherwise you will damage some or all components. The same way through the human body, when your stress takes over your conscious mind, the medication will not be able to finish your pain. This means, there is only one way to finish your pain permanently: to get rid of your stress by starting to change your thoughts with the control of your conscious mind. Remember, if you are unable to control your mindset, then your life is uncontrolled. It means, be ready to face more consequences if you don't deal with your current one. Furthermore, all your key areas will suffer when depression is present: families, marriage, finances, friendships, careers and your daily living. Many symptoms of depression factors are manifest through different effects of our mind, such as conscious and mindset affected by our thoughts. When you have trouble making decisions, concentrating, remembering, by letting negative ideas to dominate your mindset. Feeling, when you allow the state of sadness, hopelessness and guilt to dominate your mindset. When you are envy or drive hatred, being jealous and anger about others, people, life or achievement. Furthermore, when you don't show interest in friends, family, favorite activities, among others. Behavior, when you're moving away from people, substance abuse, missing commitments and communities, of work, school, family or friends, etc. Physical problems, sleepiness and lack of energy. Mysterious aches and pains, changes in appetite, weight loss or gain, sleeping too little or too much. Most of the effects of depression can be controlled by yourself when you have a total control of your mindset, within your feelings and conscious mind. However, as this book focuses more on mindset, other physical problems of depression are not mentioned throughout this book. Stress is a feeling of worry because of problems in your life, an uneasiness feeling we develop for a moment or long periods. In addition, It is the result of a mindset reaction, responding to any kind of demand caused by both good or positive, and bad or negative experiences. When a person experiences a positive stress, sometimes this helps them to achieve success. However, when they experience a negative stress, this affects their entire life and mostly leads them to depression. When stresses take over, a human's mindset releases many signals to a brain's switches, and the brain reacts by releasing chemicals into the blood. These chemicals give people more energy and strength, which can be a good thing if their stress is caused by physical danger. When positive stresses occur, caused by something or a problem, your mindsets are motivated and send more positive signals to your brain, to get things done or solve the problem on time. However, when a negative stress occurs, your mindset confuses and causes panic, which sends negative signals without control to your brain switches and overheats your brain switches. These panic signals cause pain in your body or fail you to solve the problem. This can also bring you more trouble in your life if you stress every moment. The only way to stop your negative stress is to control your conscious mind, not to allow negative stress to dominate your mindset. However, let positive stress encourage you to solve the situations or problems that bother you. Depression and stress are the worst symptoms. You may not allow, or avoid them taking over your mind. Either one or both symptoms can destroy your entire life and fail you achieving your dreams. Both are temporary symptoms and mostly are caused by ourselves. It happens when we lose control of our mindset and start blaming our past mistakes, people around us, or our countries and world leaders. This is due to some consequence that we faced in our past or current life activities. These symptoms have the power to dominate and destroy a human being's life when we give up to challenge our problem. Learn that these two symptoms can develop other illnesses in your body during the period you allow them to dominate your mindset. When depression or stresses take over your life, do not wait for other people to bring you the solutions. Always start by yourself. Whatever you're facing, a divorce, loss of jobs, without friends or partners, accident, loss of money, sickness, any other type of problems, try your best to stop these feelings to confuse your conscious mind, because you will cause another permanent damage to your body due to neglecting the first symptom. Learn from other people who faced the same situation and succeeded. There are many ways to learn. Some of the easier ways are to use the internet. For example, visit YouTube and watch some videos regarding your situations. Alternatively, spend much time with people who face the same problems or some motivational speakers, psychologists and religious leaders. For more, watch the special type of movies and shows that will keep your mind in a positive state. Do not forget to face your situations. Consolation is just for a moment, but you have to learn to get rid of your emotional thoughts. To start thinking new thoughts that will bring you happiness, stand up to solve your problem before it's late. Sometimes other people or leaders will fail you to get out of your problem. So learn to control your conscious mind and mindset by yourself, to solve your problems and live a happy life. As you have encountered the subject of mindset development, begin to make a move through your life and continue to read more books that discuss the mind's rules in your life. Keep this note in your mind: if someone told you, you are not good enough to accomplish your passion, he or she is a liar. No matter how long and how hard you work, you need to get it done. You only fail on your passion when you become a liar of your own mindset. Notice, there is only one way to achieve greatness, and that is to socialize with people who think the same way you do. They will be learning from you, and you also will benefit much from them. You need to keep them as close to you as possible. The key to a good relationship is to recognize other people's weaknesses and strengths and give them the room to be who they are. Thanks for listening to the Section 1 of Misleading of the African Mindset book written by Emery Lukambo. The Audiobook 3 is available, which record the Section 2 of the book African Continent Battles, by searching the African Youth Inventions channel into YouTube and download or listening to the rest of Audiobook 1, 3 and 4 for free. You can purchase the full book. Copy is available into all the exclusive bookshops around South Africa. For all people in and out of South Africa, you can also purchase the electronic copy or order the paperback under the African Youth Inventions website at www.africanyouth.inventions.co.za. Please do not forget to subscribe to African Youth Inventions YouTube channel. We would like to keep you updated about our projects coming and hearing your suggestions for the benefit of all people live in Africa and the rest of the world. You may also follow us on Twitter and like or join our Facebook page and group. Thanks again.